Good morning, good afternoon, or good night, wherever you are tuning in from. This is BS Buddies Podcast. I'm your host, Joe. That's your host, Ian. And Ian gets some revenge in this episode. Last episode, I gave Ian a quiz on baseball jargon. This time, Ian's going to quiz me on marine jargon / slang. And I'm not ready.
Oh, this is gonna be great. As I told you earlier, I've got my little unit shirt on. Then I've even got my nice desert zip up sweatshirt here. So I'm all in the mood to bring on the Marine Corps. And we're really by the end of this, we're gonna hope to get Joe in the headspace of being a jarhead inside his brain housing group. That's really what we want to do, just to drive the point home. We're gonna start things off going
I,
strong here. So don't worry, Joe.
I really hope that some of these are things you've said in previous videos and have already explained them, but I don't think it's going to be like that.
A couple of them are. A couple of them are definitely things you've heard before, and you guys as well. I'm sure if you've been watching these videos, you'll notice me spit some of these out from time to time. All of these are things that I have heard and or said at some point. If you want to know the history behind them, I can't help you there. Okay, this is one of those organizations that when they tell you that this is what it's called and this is what you say, you just don't question it. I mean, why would you ask questions? You don't ask questions. You don't get to know. You just adapt, improvise, adapt, overcome.
Just please
I
don't say any last names that I have to bleep out this time.
I'll do my best.
Okay. I got a notepad on standby. Okay, what's the
we're gonna
first
start.
one?
We're gonna start things off really simple here. This is one you've probably heard me throw around a couple of times, but the field. The field. This is a not even necessarily Marine Corps term. This is an all military term, but you'll often hear service members refer to this the field.
What
What do
it,
you think the field is, Joe?
First thing that pops up is like a shooting range, if it pertains to everyone.
Okay. Okay.
Like,
Could be.
I,
Could be.
I feel like it's like a dirt area where you just test all sorts of weapons. It's just a dead area. It's like, hey, shoot our $1 million missile somewhere in the field and see what happens.
You know, you're honestly not too far off the mark with that one. So the field, as some of you guys have heard me refer to, the field is not actually a field. It's not like you're sitting out in a cornfield like, man, Timmy, this sucks. No, it is the term that is referred to by service members anytime you are out doing training and employing all of the knowledge that you've acquired over the course of your military career. So contrary to Hollywood and popular belief, the military is not just running through obstacle courses all the
That
time and
that's kind of what I thought
stabbing.
at first, like do like the little training, but I'm like, no, it's got to be like a field. It's got to be bigger. They got to be doing more stuff.
Yeah, the field is quite literally any wilderness environment that you go into to do training, pretending as if you were actually in combat. So, like, particularly with my job, the field for us would be, sometimes it's days, sometimes it's weeks, sometimes it's months. But you go out into the field and we would set up our communications, make things work, and then we'd run through like simulated missions. What would we do if this occurred? It's essentially LARPing. You are essentially LARPing, and LARPing takes place where? In the field, whether that's the forest, the desert, an actual field, a mud hole. The field can be anywhere. It's anytime you're out doing any kind of training. That is the field.
And this is
All
supposed to
right.
get easier.
Yes. No, not at all. I'm lying. It's not supposed to get any easier at all. Next up are some terms that you might hear when you're out in the field. The first one is called, as you probably heard, FUBAR. FUBAR.
Effed up beyond all recognition.
Oh, good. See, I knew I had to give you one that you could get right out of the gate. Yeah. Effed up beyond all recognition means that somehow things have gone so sideways that everyone's standing back going, how? How have you done that? Like, for example, the one time this kid I knew, he was riding hatch out the top of one of our vehicles, and he had his rifle poking out the top of the hatch, and they went under some tree branches, and his rifle got caught, it's really weird when you see an M16 in a C shape, and you just look at that and you go, "How? How have you done that?" Here's another good one that kind of follows foobar, snafu. I don't know if
It's
you've heard snafu
I've heard it a
before.
lot. Like it's kind of like you're stuck in a situation.
Kinda,
For the
yeah.
most part, you're
If
stuck
you've
in a
ever
tough
watched,
situation of some sort.
yeah, yeah, that's pretty close to it. If you've ever watched HBO's The Pacific, there's Corporal Snafu, but snafu stands for situation normal, all done, which
I didn't
means
know that it
that
was an acronym. Didn't know it was an
yes, it
acronym.
means situation normal, all fouled up, which is basically the normal baseline is that everything is screwed. I mean, if everything's screwed, yeah, yeah, that sounds about right. Did you sip my morning coffee? Snafu. Uh, you might hear that one. Next, we've got Habu. And then I'm not talking about the Habu sake from Okinawa. That's another story entirely. Sake made with the venom of a snake. No, this is Habu. Like, for example, if you were going somewhere and trying to do something and you knew somebody who was doing whatever you were going to do, they might do some Habu stuff for you.
Is
This one's a
is it
toughie.
an acronym?
Yes.
Is it
I
H
won't
A
make you
B
try and
U?
think. Yes,
Okay.
HABU.
I'm gosh.
When you hear it, you're gonna go, "Oh my god."
Yeah, I feel like I'm drawing a blank. Like I have something else, some other acronym stuck in my head, and it's like interfering with me trying to figure this one out. I just
which which can't. It's hook a brother up. Means some hook a
yeah,
brother up. Like
that's
if you're in line at the chow hall and you know the dude who's serving, you be like, "Hey, come on, man, Habu, let me get out of here. I got stuff to do. Hook a brother up."
I've never heard that
That's
before.
that was the fun one to stick into your itinerary. All right, we'll move away from some of the acronyms here, and
Thank
we'll
God.
give you another one that you know. Go faster.
I know that. That's just running shoes.
Yep, got to get your go fasters on. Why? You got to go faster. That was a pretty simple one. It's really funny too because the tennis shoes they give you in boot camp, like, are they're all ubiquitous in what they look like. There's like these ugly gray with like green and blue stripes on them. You can't miss them. You can't miss them. It's wild.
I brought that up to a buddy of mine at work who served in the army, and he's like, "Yep, same thing. Go faster,"
Go fast.
and listed off like 10 things. It's like, "Yep, same thing."
Good old go fasters, man. All right, Joe. Well, the next one for you is grape. Let's see if you can get this in your grape.
Oh yeah, head.
Yeah, there you go.
If you didn't say that, I would have just blanked.
Get this in your what? Yeah, if for some reason the Marine Corps, your head is your grape. Hey, get that helmet on your grape. Get that cover on your grape. Get this knowledge in your grape. I don't know why it's grape. It's grape. Here's a fun one for you. How about rain room? You hear this one most often in boot camp.
Now we're getting into the territory of I've never heard this before in my life.
Rain room.
Rain.
Sometimes if the squad messes up, or the platoon messes up, the drill instructors might come out in a fury and they'll be like, everybody get in the rain room now. And then they start counting down
So
20, 17, 16, 15, 14, 30, 12, and going
I
through
have
the
two
nonsense.
guesses. Um, I'll go with the first one. That just makes a little more sense. Is that another name for the showers?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Yes. And it specifically applies because the showers in boot camp is, as I think I've described before, it's literally just like a 15 by 15 room with shower heads on the wall like every 3 feet. And so, like, everybody screws up. They'll be like, "Hey, grab your war bags, get in the rain room." And then they'll bring everybody in and they'll have you dump everything. They'll be like, "Turn on the rain room." And then you gotta turn on all the showers and just soak your stuff. And oh, it's a fun time. It's a
I would
fun
never
time.
make it in the armed forces. I'd lose my mind.
Here's one you hear more often when you get out to the fleet. What, Joe, can you tell me is a butter bar?
A butter bar.
A butter bar.
So is this thing to make other things go smoother or more slick? Or is it nothing to do with like ease?
One could argue that it is the exact opposite of that, but in a way that you would never expect.
That doesn't help me in the slightest.
I will give you it is in reference to oh God, there's no way. It's in
Here,
reference to an insignia. There.
that
That's
doesn't
the
help
hint
me
I
at
can
all.
give you that does
But
yeah, it's the only hint I can give you that doesn't give it away.
the only thing I could think of is like they're gonna give you like an extra backpack of supplies that you have to carry instead of like someone else.
I mean, this person might do that if they were an asshole. But a butter bar refers to a brand new second lieutenant. And a second lieutenant is it's the private in the officer rank structure. I mean, so you have two rank structures. You have the enlisted side, which is like when you just go down to the recruiter's office, sign up, and ship off to boot camp. Then you have the officer side, and those are the fancy guys who went to school and learned things. And they are commissioned officers, and the lowest rank on the officers is second lieutenant, which is a gold bar insignia. And so oftentimes they're referred to as a butter bar because they don't know what they're doing. They're there to learn, figure out how things work, and as you were saying, sometimes they can make things more difficult because they don't know what they're doing and they're supposed to be the ones in charge.
I feel like that's kind of
It's
like a bonus baby for baseball.
kind of
you're
is,
you're
yeah.
new, like you got a little bit. I mean, in baseball sense, more pay. Like the butter bar, it's like hey, you got more insignia, whatever, but
It's
you
often
don't
said
really
that
know a whole lot.
a butter bar is just a PFC with a better salary. That's what it is. All right, here's one that you're definitely not going to get. And this one sounds so much worse than what it actually is. A donkey dick.
I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm, I'm just thinking of like COD, and I think it's like some kind of grenade or explosives of some sort.
It is in relation to vehicles.
What's that? Is it like a radio antenna?
No, but that's actually a very good guess. That's good. I could definitely see how that would be the case. Don't ask me why. For whatever reason, but the funnels that are like 3 feet long with a flexible hose on them are referred to as donkey dicks because those are what you shove in the fuel nozzle so that you can pour the fuel in to fuel up your Humvee.
I was
I
thinking
don't
of
know
those
why
like
that's
old stick grenades. That was the first thing I thought
yeah.
of.
Throw a donkey dick at them. What is that? Just
Eeyore sends his regards.
you write Eeyore's surprise on the sides. Eeyore's surprise. Why is it pink? Just let's see. Here's one that you might have heard before: a soup sandwich. You might hear
You've
this
probably
being
said
referred.
that to me once in my life.
This has been referred to, or excuse me, this term can be applied to a number of things. things, from a situation to how someone looks to the way something is done to an idea. It's a pretty broad
You said
general
soup
term.
sandwich?
Soup sandwich.
I feel like if that's the case, like someone just said something so pointless and stupid. Because I just imagine putting soup on bread and it just soaking into the bread. It's like,
Yep.
didn't make any sense.
Yeah. So soup sandwich is a term that is often used to describe things that are out of whack, not how they're supposed to be, something stupid you said, like staff sergeant's like, all right, we need to get like uniform standards up. Any ideas from anybody on how we can make sure everyone's uniforms are good to go? And some like idiot from the back raises his hand and he's like, oh, we could all throw them in the dryers in the laundromat and get the wrinkles out of them. It would be like, PFC, that idea is a fucking soup sandwich. Like, no, that makes no sense. You don't do that. Like, you're looking like a soup sandwich. You look terrible. That doesn't make sense. Oh boy, oh boy. They got a number of crazy applications. I don't know how the military ever came up with all of these, but I gotta admit, some of them really make me chuckle. And I would like to again reiterate that I have heard all of these used in serious situations by angry individuals who were chewing you out. I want you to imagine like a 34-year-old grown man telling you that you look like a soup sandwich with a serious face, and you are afraid of him because, oh my God, how could you look like a soup sandwich? I've done this. I've ruined everyone's day. Me, I am the soup sandwich.
Yeah, like for
It's
the
like a
baseball ones, it was like there were some I didn't even hear before. But you have either heard someone or yourself getting yelled at using this language.
it's like an episode of Sesame Street, but everyone has guns and is angry all the time and uses nicotine in some form or another. Like
And
I
Rippets.
don't know how else to explain it. Yeah. I don't know how else to explain it. Oh, here's one that's might have aged fairly poorly in light of certain recent events. Diddy bopping.
I wonder why.
Not at all related to any things or
Or
persons in
baby
pop
oil.
culture. Yeah, or or baby oil. Diddy bopping. This
that,
is an activity
yeah, that
that is.
I think I've heard this before. Isn't it like you're just kind of going around aimlessly with no certain goal in mind?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean that I'd say that's pretty close to it. Diddy bopping is essentially anything that you're doing that some higher up somewhere does not consider conducive to good order and discipline. Like you're hanging out with your friends, like maybe they're all down in like the smoke pit or whatever, and you're having some cigarettes and whatnot, and you're just laughing and joking and having fun or whatever, and some staff sergeant comes by and he's like, hey, knock off that diddy bopping. You smoking and joking back on the block, huh? Oh, we must think we're all boys here. Like they see happiness and it makes them angry and they have to no, no diddy bopping. It's also used in boot camp for like when you're marching and stuff like that. But generally in the fleet, more often diddy bopping is usually referred to as goofing off.
I'm doing a lot better than I thought I would.
Yeah, you got some. You're doing some good ones here. I should be marking these off so I can only do like half, and then we could have a part two.
We'll see how much time we got. Cause
Subtle wink at the camera here.
we could go back and forth and do half marine, half baseball. Cause there were a lot more that I didn't even read.
Just quizzing each other, going back and forth. God, I'm gonna have to go back through now and mark off the ones that I did already. All right, well, let's skip over those ones. Ooh, here's a good one for you. A pogue. What is a pogue? Spelled P-O-G, or for my older devil donuts out there, P-O-G-U-E. The spelling doesn't particularly make any difference because it means the same thing either way. But a pogue, as a little hint for you, is in relation to a person. You call a person this.
The first thing that pops into my head. Wait, hold on. Is it an acronym?
It is,
Not
but
necessarily.
it technically is an acronym, but it's sort of transcended past acronym status into being its own word. And now this word applies to.
I don't want you to have to like stress about giving me a hint. I feel like it has to be someone of like high importance or like higher up, like person of whatever G means. That's what I'm kind of getting at.
Person of whatever G means. I like the way you phrase that. People of high
Person of
importance.
grandeur or something.
These individuals would like to think that they are. Which, if I got any veteran buddies out there watching this, they hopefully got a good chuckle out of that. Uh, POG stands for personnel other than grunt, which this is a term that was typically used. My bad, I dropped my pencil. Hang on.
You know, I'll take that. I'll take that.
This term was first used by people in the infantry, and it was sort of a derogatory term to mean that the infantry was above everybody else. Like the infantry's they're the ones up there doing the fighting. Everybody else is just a pogue. But it's kind of since transcended, and like you'll hear it used by almost anyone in the Marine Corps now, and it still retains its original meaning, but now it's shifted ever so slightly so that like people who've gone on combat deployments might call other people in their same unit who have not gone on combat deployments. Are you just a pogue? I was out there doing fighting while you were back here playing dolls with your sister, you pogue. Like it's sort of a jumbled mess, but its original meaning is personnel other than grunt, and it's used by the infantry a lot. They take a lot of pride in that. Nobody else pays it any mind. So now, Joe, now that you know what a pogue is, can you tell me what you think pogey bait might be? Two words, pogey bait.
So it's basically saying a pogue is above a grunt, and a grunt is just lowest of the low.
Well, it's pogue is used by grunts to make them pogue is used by grunts to make themselves seem like, oh, we're the best of the best because we're the grunts, we're the infantry, we're the ones doing the fighting. You might as well be like an office desk kind of guy, like doing paperwork. I'm a grunt, you're a pogue, you're nothing. Is what that kind of means. So then if you
I
were to
feel like then
say,
it's just kind of the reverse, and like you're just you're the victim of the. I'm my head is getting confused on the hierarchy, but basically they are the victim of bullying or something from the other. Like they get picked
pogey
on
bait,
a lot.
that would be really cool if that's what it meant. That would actually make a lot more sense. But the Marine Corps has never been known for making sense. It's full of a bunch of morons. So there's that going for you. Um, you are not correct, but I will let you have a second crack at it. It's in relation to food.
Is it like a certain food item?
It's not necessarily a certain food item, but it's how this particular I shouldn't even say this particular it's how certain food is different. Like put it this way, think of the military and think of the kind of food you get in the military. And then think of every other kind of food in the world that's available to you.
I don't. I think that helps me less. Like, because we have a short little episode where you're like, breakfast or whatever was great, lunch was awful. So it's like thinking of that, and then it's like every other possible food in the entire world. I haven't even
All right,
seen marine food.
let me narrow it down to you. Imagine you're on a road trip and you're feeling kind of hungry, right? You're feeling a little peckish, but you don't want to pull into the first like Long John Silver's you see off the side of the road, right?
Is this just
And then
another stupid name for a sandwich?
a sandwich could be pokey bait. It could be. It very well could be. Right? But let's say you're on a road trip and up in the distance you see the shining lights of a holiday gas station or a Casey's or a Quick Trip or a Bucky's, whatever. And you're like, oh my God, snacks, pogey bait. That's pogey bait.
Just snacks.
Snacks. Any food that you bring with you out to the field that is not an MRE or a ration provided by the military or basically preserved slop that's been sitting in a warehouse for 4 years is pogey bait. You bring beef jerky with you to the field, pogey bait. Chips, drinks, candy, any of that nonsense is pogey bait because only the people who aren't on the front lines doing the fighting would be able to have the luxury of eating some, what's it, Jack Links? That's not a,
Yeah,
is that a,
beef
that's
jerky.
a brand of beef. For some reason I was thinking Jack Links hot dog. I don't think Frank, my brain's getting
I don't
fried,
know
even
if
I'm
they've expanded that far.
going. Beef jerky hot dogs? Pre-cooked. Just put it on your dash for 5 minutes so the sun heats it up. You'll be chewing for an hour.
When you're in Afghanistan, just take it out of your pocket and then boom, it's done.
Yeah. If you need to rehydrate it, just stick it in your Camelback water holder deal, and it'll be boiled in minutes. Those things never stayed cold. Ooh. Okay, what else do we have here? Da, 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 da. Oh, here we go. Here's a good one. Ground pounder. While we're still on the subject of personnel, a
Isn't that
ground
just
pounder.
like a foot troop?
More or less, yeah.
Like
That's pretty
someone
close to
who's
it.
actively, like, kind of what I and probably other people just think what the Marines are, people who are going on the ground to like take
Yeah,
on.
it's basically your dudes who are like doing all the legwork. They aren't really the thinking type, like they took their thinking cap off and flung it out into the ocean because they thought it would look cool as a frisbee type of individuals. They're the ones that you have doing heavy lifting because frankly they're not good for much else. Oh, what's Frank doing? Oh, he's moving the ammo boxes from the truck into the firing range. Oh, why is he doing that? He's a ground pounder. He ain't good for much else. And like you could think of it along the same lines as mouth breather. Ooh.
That's one way to put it, I guess.
Well, I have ground pounder on here twice. I suppose I could probably take one of them off of there. I
Are
just
you the
noticed
ground
that.
pounder?
I very well could be. I have been a couple of times in my life. Um, oh, here we go. We'll switch gears a little bit. Ninja punch. What does it mean to get ninja punched? This is not, as you might initially think, this is not a fighting term. This is not some sort of like martial arts, wah wah, getting smacked.
I feel the
It's,
my
it's a
brain
very
might have
bad
just
thing.
like went off, like just took a nosedive, but I feel like it's on the same level of like crop dusting or something.
Just ninja punched you. Oh, my nostrils. Had ammonia pills that were better than this. Like somebody call Seaburn. I need my gas mask. So a ninja punch is what we call it in the Marine Corps, is getting an NJP, a non-judicial punishment. Other branches call it catching an article. I don't know what the Navy, if they call it anything different, or the Air Force, but I know the Army calls it catching an article, and I think the Air Force does as well. But basically, this happens when a Marine seriously messes up and gets in like legal trouble. Like, let's say you were on base and you went to like some the enlisted club, which has a bar, and you have a little bit too much to drink, you get a little bit rowdy, and it's like somebody bumps into you, and you turn around, you're like, "Hey, fool, don't bump into me!" Wow, you punch him in the face. Boom, the MP show up, you get arrested. Rather than throwing you in jail, just having you serve community service, you get a non-judicial punishment, which is where someone of higher up authority rank basically determines, all right, we're going to bust you down. You're going to get demoted. You'll have reduced pay, extra military duties, or whatever have you for ever amount of time that they so decide, depending on the severity of your crime. And it is affectionately referred to as getting ninja punched. I knew a few dudes who got ninja punched in their time in. One of them, God bless his soul, uh, was ninja punched for hazing because he threw a helmet at somebody, smacked him in the arm hard because he was a little angry that day, and so he got busted down in rank. And I only met him after he was busted down in rank, and it scared me even more because I'd heard horror stories about this man. And when I met him, he was like a teddy bear. As I was explaining to one of my buddies on Xbox the other night, we were doing some computer work one day for like some practice or whatever, and we were sitting in the tent, and I was like sitting looking at my paperwork because I was getting chewed out because I wasn't doing it well, and I was just like, oh, come on, get it together, like I got to be able to do it better. And like he walks up to me and he's like, hey, oh, I didn't say
Thank
my
you.
name.
Thank you.
He's like, hey, oh, why do you look so sad? I'm just not having a good day, Corporal. And he's like, you look like you need a boop. Do you need a boop? I beg your pardon, Corporal. And he goes, and he just touches my nose and he goes, okay. And he just walks away. And keep in mind, this was like the man that I had heard stories like if you messed up in the smallest, he was like breathing fire down your neck. And I was like, why did he boot me on the nose? What does that mean? What do I do? Do I do anything? Do I tell anybody? What happened? What am I supposed to do? Like that scared me more than anything out of anything that I'd experienced was just boop. Thank you, Corporal. And he just walked away. And that was the whole interaction. And I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do.
Oh, I love that.
Okay. We'll do a couple more here since we made some good time, and that'll leave me plenty to get you on a second round with. Um, I know. Here's one for you, Joe. When I say the words chest candy, and no, I'm not talking about ripped men with their shirt off. Chest candy. What do you think of?
Do I have to respond?
Yes. Preemptively
does it
say yes.
does it have to do with like people and how they look specifically? Or is it like an item? Like an article of clothing even?
Yeah. Yeah, you could call it an article of clothing.
Is
Very
it when like
specific.
people have just a bunch of like I don't know what side it goes on, but just like a bunch of medals?
Ding, 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 ding. That's a winner for you, Joe. That is correct. So the ribbons and or medals that you get when you are wearing your dress uniforms are referred to as chest candy. The more chest candy you have, the more, I guess, I don't want to say weight goes with it, but kind of. It's kind of a thing like if you have a lot of because the ribbons and the medals are given out based on like deployments, achievements that you earn, how long you've been in the military, and other a lot of factors that go into it. So if you have a lot of chest candy, especially from a low rank, you're sort of looked at as like oh my god, this dude's done some stuff. And I don't want to, sit here and like toot my own horn, but
Do it.
I got some of that flack thrown my way because, from the time that I got done with training to the time that I went over to the Middle East was all of about like 4 months. So I had like 4 months from when I got to my unit to when I was like boarding a plane going to the Middle East. So I had 5 ribbons and like 5 ribbons, and of those 5 ribbons, 4 of them were medals by the time I got back and got to the rank of corporal. Whereas by comparison, most other of my peers that were of my rank or similar to me only had about 3 ribbons. And of those 3 ribbons, I think only 2 of them were medals. So come like the Marine Corps ball showing up, everyone's in their dress blues looking good, like, oh yeah, bro, your medals are looking tight, whatever. And then here's me walking out just like, ah, what's up, boys? And then everyone's looking at me like, oh damn, oh, you're looking good over there. And I'm like, yeah, I know I am looking great. And like I would even have like some of our senior enlisted coming over and talking to me like, oh, okay, where we get all of this? But we must have done something, right? Oh, yes, I did, First Sergeant. I went over to the Middle East. All right, I stand corrected. You wear that, and so it's kind of a big swinging D thing in the military to have a lot of chest candy. But I didn't get no more once I got up. Just I ended with what I had, and that was good enough for me. I think I ended with seven ribbons in total, and I think of them like 5 or 6 were medals.
Nice. That's 7
Ah,
more than I got. I don't even have a
a couple
rank.
of them, a couple of them could be considered participation awards, so take that for what you will.
I mean, I was gonna say I'm just a pogue, but I can't remember if I would be third.
Technically, because you're personnel who's not a grunt. You weren't in the military. You're part of First Civ Div, First Civilian Division, First Civ Div. There's a freebie for you. I'll give you that one. All right. You know what? I'll end on this one since we're approaching the 40-minute mark here. What do you think a moonbeam is, Joe? Moonbeam. You've probably seen this before in movies. I know one's
Moonbeam?
yes, moonbeam, one word. Moonbeam. Like sunbeam, but moonbeam.
Okay, I was just
And
making sure it wasn't like bean with an
a
N.
moonbeam. A moonbeam. It's a beam that looks like the moon. I can think of specifically one
I,
movie scene in mind
I have
where
one.
I've seen it.
I have one guess before any hints. And I'm just thinking of when you're shooting like a missile at night and like the trail you see behind it at night. Am I anywhere close?
No, not
Okay.
at all.
Can
But
I
that
have a
would be
hint?
really cool. That'd be really sick. That's the moonbeam. Oh yeah, it is. The missile's on its way to deliver tons of explosives somewhere. All right. So I'm trying to think. All right. So Forrest Gump. I don't remember if you've watched Forrest Gump or not.
I've I don't think I've ever seen it front to back, but I'm sure I've seen the whole movie in a million different pieces.
Hmm. Do
So,
you remember the scene when he was in Vietnam and he was one of the tunnel rats? It was his job to clear out the tunnels that they would find of the Vietnamese.
I think I've seen that whole scene, but that's the only one escaping me.
Well, this might give it away for you, but in that scene, I think it was the lieutenant. Somebody
Lieutenant
either
Dan?
hands it to him. Yeah, Lieutenant Dan. They either hand it to him or he's already holding it in his hands. But in one hand he has a pistol, and in the other hand he has a moonbeam. You're
Gosh. Is it
gonna
like a
really hate me.
flare?
Not quite. Not quite.
I was thinking it's either a flare or like a button or some sort to like call air support of some sort.
I'll
Flashlight?
show you what it. show you what a moonbeam is, Joe.
Flashlight.
This is a moonbeam. It's specifically, I think it refers to them goofy looking flashlights that the military uses. They're like an L shape, and they use like 2 or 3 D-cell batteries, and you flip them on, and they last for all of about 5 minutes and emit roughly half a match's worth of light. Yeah, those are called moonbeams.
As soon as I
Once
saw you
again,
like your arm move, I'm like, he has it on his desk. It's gotta be a flashlight.
of
There's
the
no way he
objects
has a flare on his desk.
that'd be amazing. Hey Joe, this is a moonbeam. Oh, I better get rid of this. And then 5 minutes later, the house is burning down. Joe, wrap up the episode. Just like hosing water down. Oh man. All right. Well, that still leaves a fair amount of terms and jargon left for us to discuss for next time. And I'm just going through here real quick and looking at what they are.
I think I got maybe a quarter of them. Not quite, but
You
decent.
got you got you did a pretty good job there, Joe. I'd say that was pretty good. I think we've got probably a little over a dozen or so, dozen and a half maybe, of terms left to go through. Some of these are, I don't want to say more offensive, but they're a bit more on the line of
You've
like,
read some of them. There's a lot of swear words.
yeah, yeah, that's well, that's just the military in general.
Yeah.
But for all you wonderful viewers out here, as I stated previously, all of these are terms that are used in the military pretty commonly. It's a very interesting way of speaking, and there are a few movies that come to mind that I can think of that actually use a lot of these terms. If ever you guys want like a good full breakdown of military jargon, look up the movie Ears Open, Eyeballs Click. That is a movie about Marine Corps boot camp, and that's
That's a title.
boy oh boy, that yeah, ears open, eyeballs click. The reason it's called that is because one more freebie for you guys for the road. When the drill instructors want your attention, they yell out ears, and then all the recruits respond with open, sir, and then they say eyeballs, and you say click, sir. So ears, open, sir, eyeballs, click, sir, which means shut up, look at them, and listen. It's ears open, eyeballs click.
Well, like I said, I'm semi impressed with myself that I got as many as I did correct. Yeah, we'll have to revisit this sometime in the future. I don't want to just post only jargon episodes. Like, we'll go back to
Back to
normal
back.
stuff.
I
Usually
can
I
see
don't
you're
try
telling
to
me
go
I got
back to back, but
So you're telling me I gotta earmark this page in my notebook so that I can come back and remember which one to do?
yeah, we got several other ideas that we want to touch up on and get some variety in. But yeah, if you want us to do more stuff like this or other like country slang, let us know with a like and a comment. We said we were gonna do quotes in the like last episode or the episode before. We'll get back to those eventually.
Someday soon, when we pull our grapes out of our behinds, then we'll remember to look up quotes beforehand.
Use our moonbeams to search around for some
Indeed, we use
in the
our
field.
moonbeams. Yeah, in the field, we need to use our moonbeams in the field. Go get some pokey bait while we can. Got to stay, up to speed.
Whatever he just said, thank you for thank you for watching or listening. If you have any other ideas for topics, let us know down below. Thank you for BSing with us. Subscribe to become a bud today, and we'll see you next time when maybe our detective comes back to do another episode. Wink, wink.
Ooh. And in the meantime, you all just make sure that you take it easy now.